Hey y'all, welcome back to Cherry Hill Farm. I think it's fixing to come up a storm here. I'm out here just kind of doing some scouting on our late summer crops. We don't do as many vegetables in the late summer as we do in the spring and early summer because demand really drops off. The last plant of cucumbers got away from us and we didn't get them tied. We didn't make that mistake again because it's a whole lot easier on them picking them, and it's makes a whole lot better crop when they are trellised. But you can see these babies is getting on up there. We got a late plant in the okra. I might have got it a little later than I should have, and you can see I've got something eating on it, which is fine. It really don't matter on okra. That's pretty much the toughest plant we grow. Seems like if you give okra any special treatment, it gets mad and don't do as well. But we got canary melons, late planting the cantaloupe, and canary melons coming along here. And it's just a hodgepodge of small quantities of stuff because the last thing I want to do is have a bunch of stuff that I can't move, because that costs me money more than one time actually. Specialty pumpkins are rolling along. I tried to have these, well, I didn't try, it just worked out that way. These are going to be pretty dang late, but I think that's okay because they're on plastic, and that usually expedites the process a whole lot. Right here is our butternut and spaghetti squash, and it's a darn good thing that we've got butternut and spaghetti over here on plastic, because the spaghetti that I've got over in the no-till field, the deer have eaten darn near a bit of it. Acorn, I don't know why, but I had such a hard time with acorn this year. It just didn't want to come up. I don't know, my seed was not fresh, and I guess that's it. It's lost its viability, or maybe it was, right here's a damp area in the field. It's rained every day, it seems like. So, I mean, you see that it came up pretty good down through there. Moving on up the hill here, my purple hull peas, some's got the top heavy with the rain, driving rain that we've had. It's beat them down. Got some of them laid down, but they don't care. They'll still make a good crop. They just might have some dirt splashed on them. They're getting ready to bloom. Won't be long, we'll have some peas coming on. And we got another planting the cucumbers here that's gonna have to have sticks put in them pretty quick. Didn't get a real phenomenal stand, but it'll make a bunch of cucumbers. And the guys are just finishing up putting sticks in our late tomatoes, and they're going through now suckering them. That's a kind of a lengthy process, and I've heard people argue for and against suckering tomatoes. I've always done it. We've always grown pretty good tomatoes, and that's why we do it. That's really the only argument I have for or against it. If you're not familiar with suckering tomatoes, everywhere there is a leaf joint like this, you can have a sucker growing on top of it like this, basically another tomato plant. And it takes nutrients away from the plant because it's trying to make more plant instead of focusing on getting big and growing fruit. So that's why we sucker them. And I usually only sucker them up to the first fruit cluster. So that's kind of a cleaned up suckered tomato, what it looks like. Right here's the double. plant. And now that's all cleaned up. And it's crazy. It's kind of crazy to see how much these tomato plants will jump. When you jerk them suckers off, it's Saturday afternoon. We come back Monday. I'd say possibly, depending on how hard I feed them, by midweek, they probably have to put enough string on these tomatoes, because suckering just really, it's like it takes a load off the plant, and they will really get with the program when you sucker them. Here's some late sweet corn we got coming along. I was going to do another planting where my beans were, and I decided against it because this planting of sweet corn, we lost 100% of it to the coons. Evidently we're going to start doing some coon trapping pretty hot and heavy. This is, or was, our first planting of corn, sweet corn here, and I came through and bush hogged it and sprayed it with Gramoxone, killed everything. It wasn't much, but killed everything off, and planted beans. So we got half runners, a couple rows of snaps, and some October beans that are coming along nicely. Okra still getting it, but it's getting so tall it gets really aggravating for the guys to pick. So that's the purpose for this late planting over here. And I really have got to do some bush hogging. It looks horrible around here, but I need it to stop raining for a few minutes. As you can see how wet we are. Our sandy soil drains pretty good, so when you get a tractor mowing down to the wheels, it's wet. On what might have been the hottest day this week, me and the guys got over here and rolled out all this black plastic, put in the irrigation and the spiders, and got the most of the rest of our mums set out. I've not counted. I'm not sure exactly how many is on this pad over here. My timer just went off to cut the water off, so I'm gonna take you over and show you our other crop, other mum pad. This mum pad right here, these are like mid-October bloom period. So yes, they're small, but they need to be. We don't want to get the cart in front of the horse. Have these things so big they're splitting open before we're anywhere near bloom. You remember I was having the groundhog issue. Well, I ran a low electric fence. You can see the fence is pretty dang hot because it's burnt the grass all the way down where it's low, but that has 100% put the brakes on the groundhogs eating on our mums. These are the big 13-inch pots, and then the rest of it's 9-inch pans. There's like 1,100 9-inch pans and 100 and some big pots. I'm on a greenhouse tech team forum or group on Facebook, and I read an article on there by somebody from Ball Floor Plant about mums, and it was addressing what to do when it rains every day on my mums. And they said keep feeding them, because a soggy wet well-fed mum is better than a soggy wet hungry mum. You do not want your mums to get hungry. So still been pushing the feed to them every day, and it shows. I mean, they're really getting with the program. Real pleased with them. I selectively sprayed these with regulator this week. The ones that were out to the edges of the pot all got treated with growth regulator. The old school way of doing it was you pinch the top side of the mums to induce lateral branching, make them basically what we were taking off of the tomato plants. That's what you want to happen here. You want these to sucker out and be as full and bushy as possible. So that growth regulator, it induces suckering, basically is what it amounts to. So I did that this week, and then sprayed them with Avid, which is a miticide. because spider mites this time of year, spider mites are bad on everything. We've been battling spider mites in the vegetables. I've got some spider mites in one of the greenhouses. You just can't take a chance on these mums because they will sure enough screw them up. Sprayed them with Avid for spider mites and drenched them with Heritage for fusarium or any other root problems. And some of them are a little lopsided. I think that's probably due to some groundhog damage, like this one. But overall, and I think they're going to grow out and fill in. Overall, man, I'm very pleased with them. I've got a little bit of crown budding going on right here. I don't think that's anything we did. It usually means that the stock plants got too cold, or the plugs got too cold at some point. Causes crown budding from what I've read. But anyhow, I think that's just about gonna do it for this video, and I'm gonna go get the guys out of the field and maybe get home at a decent hour before we all get soaking wet by this thunderstorm that's coming. But I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you next time.